I think Harry's a I do. I think he's a whining, whinging, complaining, woe is me, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems.
Kelly Osbourne slams Prince Harry following the news that he and his wife Meghan Markle have stepped away from their reported $20 million Spotify deal. It all went down on the most recent episode of the I've Had It podcast during a segment titled Hit It or Had It, where Kelly was asked about Harry's dad, King Charles III, and his wife, Queen Camilla, taking the throne.
Let them try it out, see what they can make of it.
But when one of the hosts said she didn't like that Charles didn't seat Harry in the front row at his coronation, Kelly disagreed and ripped into the royal.
He's a whining, whinging, complaining, woe is me, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems. My life was so hard. Everybody's life is hard.
Yeah,
you were the prince of a
true.
country who dressed up as a Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
Of course, Kelly is referencing Harry's very controversial 2005 Halloween costume, which he addressed in his Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan.
It was one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I felt so ashamed afterwards.
Harry and his wife have been estranged from the royal family ever since their decision to step down as senior members and relocate to California.
He felt that they had no choice but to leave. It's not just Meghan who's wanted this decision. It's been a joint decision, but you're either a part of the royal family or you're not.
And while they returned to the UK for Queen Elizabeth's funeral, the couple's docuseries and Harry's tell-all memoir Spare only led to further divides.
My understanding is there have been conversations between Charles and Harry, but that's really as far as it's gone. They are still smarting from this sensational, jaw-dropping and ultimately very damaging royal biography.
Then in May, Harry attended his father's coronation solo.
And this visit was a blink and you miss it visit. I mean, he was here for just over 24 hours. And I think many people, including some members of his own family, wondered why he bothered coming at all.
Last week, ET confirmed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Spotify mutually decided to end their Archetypes podcast after one season.
This is Archetypes, the podcast where we dissect, explore, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back.
But Kelly's not the only star slamming Harry and Meg.
Grifters.
On Friday, Bill Simmons, who sold his The Ringer podcast to Spotify in 2020 and is now their head of podcast innovation and monetization, had some not so nice things to say about the couple.
I got to get drunk one night and tell the story of the Zoom I had with Harry to try to help him with a podcast idea. Do it. It's one of my best stories.
And when E.T. chatted with Bethany Frankel last month, she gave her 2 cents too.
It just feels like Harry and Meghan are not playing chess, or they're playing it terribly. It's like they're feeding off of each other's bad ideas. And I just think that they're not wise in how they're going about it.
And if Meg's looking for another gig to add to her plate, Bethany has an idea.
Many of Meghan Markle's decisions would be very good for housewives.